welcome back to Everything Multiple Sclerosis with Penny. I'm your host, Penny, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. If this is your first time listening, welcome. This podcast is a place where we can talk honestly about living with multiple sclerosis, the challenges that brings with it, the victories, the fears, and the hopes that carry us forward. Today's episode is called Newly Diagnosed with Multiple Sclerosis. If you've recently heard those words, you have multiple sclerosis, then this episode is especially for you. I remember how overwhelmingly those words can feel. Your mind starts racing, questions flood in, fears creep up, and you may feel scared, angry, confused, or completely numb. First, I want you to hear this. Please take a big, deep breath. Your life is not over. A diagnosis changes things, but it doesn't define who you are. Please stay tuned for the next section, My Diagnosis Journey. Stay tuned. My diagnosis journey. When I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis over 18 years ago, I experienced many emotions. I wondered, what would my future look like? Would I end up in a wheelchair? Would I lose my independence? Would I still be able to work, travel, and enjoy life? Those fears are completely normal. The truth is that every MS journey is different. What happens to one may not happen to another. MS is often called the snowflake disease because not two cases are alike. That's why comparing yourself to others online can sometimes create unnecessary fear. What is multiple sclerosis? For those of you who are newly diagnosed, let's talk briefly about what multiple sclerosis actually is. Please excuse my mom, she's coughing in the background, I'm sorry. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system, including the brain and the spinal cord. In MS, the immune system mistakenly attacks myelin. It's the protective covering around nerve fibers. When that protective coating becomes damaged, message traveling between your brain and your body can be interrupted. This can lead to symptoms such as fatigue, numbness and tingling, weakness, balance problems, vision changes, cognitive difficulties, pain, and muscle spasms. Remember though, having MS does not mean that you'll experience every symptom. An emotional roller coaster. One thing doctors don't always prepare you for is the emotional side of the diagnosis. You may go through a grieving process. You might grieve the future you imagined, the feeling of uncertainty, your sense of security. Or you might grieve your old version of normal, and that's okay. Give yourself permission to feel what you're feeling. You don't have to be positive every second of every day. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll feel scared. Both are very valid ways of feeling. And please, whatever you do, avoid the Google rabbit hole. Let me give you a piece of advice. Don't spend hours searching the internet at 2 a.m. Don't tell me none of you have already done it. Even I have. The problem is that people who are doing well often aren't posting online. You're more likely to find worst-case scenarios than everyday success stories. Today, there are more treatments available than ever before. Many people with MS continue to work, raise families, travel, exercise, pursue hobbies, live fulfilling lives. Another important thing is building your healthcare team. And one of the most important things that you can do is to build a healthcare team that you can trust. This will include a neurologist, your primary care physician, your physical therapist, your occupational therapist, and a mental health counselor. Never be afraid to ask questions. Write them down before your appointments if you can't remember. You are your best advocate. Stay tuned for the next section called Learning About Disease-Modifying Therapies. Stay tuned. Disease-modifying therapies. You may hear your neurologist discuss disease-modifying therapies, often called DMTs. These medications are designed to reduce disease activity and help slow progression. Choosing a treatment can feel overwhelming, so take your time and ask a lot of questions. Learn about the benefits and possible side effects of each of the medications. The goal is to find the treatment that's right for you and your specific situation. Finding support. MS can feel lonely, especially in the beginning. That's why support matters. Your support can come from family, friends, support groups, online communities, and podcasts just like this one. And that is why I decided to make this podcast. Connecting with others who truly understand you can make a huge difference. Sometimes just hearing someone say, "I've been there," can lift a tremendous weight off your shoulders. Another thing that is important is taking care of your mental health. Now let's talk about mental health. An MS diagnosis affects more than just your body. It affects your emotions, your confidence, and the outlook on life. If you're struggling, please reach out for help. There is strength in asking for help. Talking to a therapist, counselor, or trusted friend can help you process what you're experiencing. What I wish someone had told me is if I could sit beside every person newly diagnosed with MS, here is what I would say. You are stronger than you realize. You're going to have difficult days. You're going to have frustrating days. But you will also have beautiful days. And you will laugh again. You will make plans again. And you will find joy in life again. MS becomes part of your story, but it does not become your entire story. There's hope for the future. The future for people living with MS is brighter than ever. Research continues to advance. New treatments continue to emerge. Scientists are learning more every day, every year. There is a genuine reason for hope. And while none of us know exactly what tomorrow holds, we can choose to focus on living today. So my closing thoughts are, if you've recently been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I want to leave you with this. You are definitely not alone, and you're not powerless. You are not your diagnosis. Just take things one day at a time, give yourself grace, and always celebrate the small victories. And remember that there is an entire community standing beside you. So I want to thank you very much for spending this time with me today. If this episode has helped you, please share it with someone who may need encouragement after a new MS diagnosis. Until the next time, this is Penny, and you've been listening to Everything Multiple Sclerosis with me, Penny. So take care of yourself, and remember, you are stronger than you know. Bye-bye now.